Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. It's fight week for Dillian Whyte and Alexander Povetkin, both men now at the matchroom sort of bubble, as it were, Eddie Hearn's childhood home. The fourth of 4 fight camp cards, headlined obviously by Whyte and Povetkin, August the 22nd, Katie Taylor and Delphine Persoon on the undercard. So this video, it's effectively some news and notes, and we've got a few things to whip through. Dave Coldwell, he will be in the corner for Dillian Whyte this weekend. But also, you've had a few other comings and goings. A couple of vehicles have arrived to sort of help Dillian Whyte with him being in this bubble, and apparently the narrative is he needs to stay away from Alexander Povetkin. But perhaps it's more a case of he's the A side, he gets a little bit of special treatment. Towards the end of the video, you also have Daniel Dubois using Dillian Whyte's name again. But first, we'll get to the situation with Dave Coldwell. So he's been added to the corner for Dillian Whyte for this weekend. And see here on screen, this is the press release from the Matchroom website. So Xavier Miller, this is this new trainer replacing Mark Tibbs. He's overseen Whyte's preparations. He's been out there in Portugal with Dillian Whyte. Whyte in this press release says, Dave is someone I've known for a long time, and this is on the inclusion of Dave Coldwell in his corner this weekend. He's experienced with heavyweights. He was in David Hayes' corner back in the day. He's trained Tony Bellew. He knows how to handle a big guy like Povetkin. Dave can offer secondary advice or perhaps see something that I have missed. And then Caldwell, he goes on to say, it's just to be a second pair of eyes if needed. I'm there to just help the coach and keep things running smoothly, and if I spot something, then I'll give my opinion to him, and he'll take it on from there. First and foremost, I'm a boxing fan, so I'm a fan of Dillian Whyte. I've always got on with him around the shows for years. We've always had a bit of a laugh. It's great to be involved with another massive fight night, and I love working on these huge events. I'm quite experienced at that sort of stuff, and it's exciting. And I guess my quick take on this is with Xavier Miller, Dillian Whyte firming up this training relationship. Obviously, it's their first fight with Xavier Miller being in charge. He did actually help out for the Marius Fuck fight, but having a second pair of eyes, an experienced trainer, campaigner like Dave Coldwell, I actually think this is a good move. And I don't think Coldwell is the sort of personality where he's going to be dominating and sort of butting in and sort of stepping out of line and getting in the way of what Whyte and Miller do have planned for this fight. But I think having an experienced guy like him in the corner can only be a good thing. So I like this inclusion of Caldwell in the corner for Dillian Whyte. What do you make of it? Meanwhile, Dillian Whyte, he has arrived in style, and see here on screen, this is from a social media, arrived via a private plane from Portugal, and subsequently he was obviously at fight camp arriving, and this is the photos here of him at fight camp. But also they've brought in a couple of RVs for him to sort of live in at fight camp. There was some suggestion in a narrative on social media that he had to be kept apart from Alexander Povetkin, because what would he do if they came sort of in close quarters, because where everyone is in the bubble, it's not exactly a massive place. It is sort of a close quarters environment. So having this actual these RVs, so there is two. There's the big one, and then on the right hand side you can see the smaller sort of camper van. But Whyte here, you can see in the camper van having a look around, and if you look at Whyte here, he looks really trim. So it does look like he's going to be coming in pretty much career best shape. He looks in really good shape compared to obviously late 2019 when he was a career heaviest for the Marius Fuck fight. So maybe he could end up weighing in the low 240s or perhaps even the 230s, and being a bit more nimble and fleet of foot, not carrying around as much rubble against a guy like Povetkin, who's generally somewhere around 225 or, you know, at the upper end 229. I think that's actually a good move, because being slow and plodding, if he was closer to 260, not sure that would have been as advisable, although he's looked decent in the 250s before against the likes of Joseph Parker and Oscar Rivas. But judging by the frame there, he looks like he's going to be at least in the 240s, possibly even high 230s. What do you think of the figure that he's cutting at the moment? Ultimately, the scale for the weigh-in is going to tell us what we need to know, but seemingly he's coming in almost career best, if not career best shape. But yeah, this RV situation, having a look round, I mean, it is what it is. It's somewhat luxury, the perk of being the A side. I sort of hear that narrative about him needing to be separated from Povetkin and think, really, I don't think there's anything in it. I think that's hype just for the fight, sort of the whole maximum violence and keeping these guys apart. These are pro boxers that are about to step in to make, big money. Dillian Whyte getting, $1 million plus payday, some, big check that he's going to be getting. He's not going to wreck that to try get in some sort of dust up, around the back of the house or something like that. I think this is just more, he is the A side, he's headlining the event, it's being sold on his name, the star gets a bit of a perk. And just to round out this video, Daniel Dubois has again been talking about Dillian Whyte, and he mentioned him in an IFL TV interview, but then it was turned into a graphic used by BT Sport and also Daniel Dubois himself. And there's a bit of a push on from Frank Warren and BT right now to put pressure on to try get a fight with Whyte. I think for many, they see this as a fight that really isn't in the making or likely to be made anytime soon. Whyte and Dubois at sort of different stages in their career at the moment. Whyte almost at a title shot. He's got to get through Povetkin, and then he's got a WBC guaranteed shot waiting for him. It's already guaranteed at the moment. He is the WBC mandatory, but obviously when he's going to get a fight against the WBC belt holder is a question. So a fight like this keeps him busy and active. There is risk in this, but Daniel Dubois is obviously with his handlers, Frank Warren, BT, they clearly want to put some pressure on here to try and make this fight. They've named this as one that they want to make for Daniel Dubois. Doesn't seem that realistic, but the other thing is Dubois has a fight coming up as well. So there's a number of sort of things going on here. One of them being that they're trying to build his profile. He's got a fight coming up on August 29th that no one is really talking about, but also if he keeps connecting his name to Dillian Whyte and Dillian Whyte's fight week, he's going to get more exposure and headlines than he otherwise would if he didn't say a peep. So I can see what he's doing, why he's doing it. Ultimately, I'm not sure if it'll be that effective to get a fight made, but he is starting to, and we've seen guys like this before. Deontay Wilder was doing it a few years ago with Anthony Joshua, constantly talking about him, and that helped build a sort of rivalry online with fans, social media, etc. But Daniel Dubois, maybe he's got a bit more to do to sort of on the talking side of things to try really develop that rivalry a bit further and get fans baying for that fight. I actually think the fight even now would be super competitive, but obviously it's probably not going to happen. So it's, I don't really want to get too much into it. So I do understand why Dubois and those connected to him are doing what they're doing, and it probably is actually having some success because we've been talking about it. It has been a sort of talking point on social media, not a burning one, but people have been mentioning that sort of fight and, could it happen? When would it happen? And just elements around it. And with Dubois needing a bit of a boost to his profile, these sorts of things do help. But what do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.